Counting sheep to fall asleep is a technique that many of us have heard of, and some even use it to drift off when they're having trouble sleeping. But have you ever wondered where this quirky idea of counting sheep comes from? Let's explore the origins of counting sheep to fall asleep and how it became a widely known bedtime trick. The practice of counting sheep dates back centuries and likely has roots in rural agrarian societies. For shepherds and farmers, counting sheep was a regular part of their day-to-day tasks, especially when moving flocks between pastures or bringing them into pens at night. Since shepherds spent long hours tending to their sheep, the repetitive nature of counting could have created a calming, meditative rhythm, making it easy to associate the act with relaxation and sleep. However, the idea of counting sheep as a method for falling asleep is believed to have more formal roots in ancient and medieval cultures. In medieval Spain, shepherds practiced a system called transhumance, where they moved their sheep from one grazing ground to another over long distances. They were required to keep an accurate count of their flocks, which led to long, repetitive counting sessions. Over time, this repetitive task likely became associated with quiet, routine work, and was eventually adapted into a mental exercise to help people fall asleep. One possible literary origin of counting sheep comes from a book called Disciplina Clericalis, written by Spanish philosopher Petrus Alfonsi in the 12th century. The book contains various tales and wisdom, one of which involves a rich man trying to fall asleep by imagining sheep jumping over a fence one by one. This story might be one of the earliest examples of linking sheep counting with sleep, and the idea continued to spread in popular culture over the centuries. The logic behind counting sheep to fall asleep is simple. The repetitive, monotonous activity is thought to distract the mind from other thoughts, allowing you to focus on something so boring that it lulls you into sleep. By visualizing sheep jumping over a fence or moving through a field, your brain can relax and tune out the stresses of the day, making it easier to drift off. While counting sheep has become a widely known technique, its effectiveness is actually debated. Some studies suggest that the act of counting may be too mentally stimulating for certain people, making them more alert rather than relaxed. In modern sleep science, experts often recommend focusing on relaxing imagery or breathing exercises instead of counting. Still, the tradition of counting sheep endures as a charming and familiar part of sleep culture, even if it doesn't always work for everyone. So, the next time you find yourself struggling to sleep, remember that the age-old technique of counting sheep is rooted in centuries of tradition, connecting us to a simpler time when repetitive tasks helped shepherds and farmers unwind at the end of a long day. And that's the origin of counting sheep to fall asleep, a tradition that began with shepherds, evolved into folklore, and continues to be a bedtime strategy for many around the world.